Hi, and welcome to Live with Connie. Today, my guest star is Melissa with Crochet In Agreement. And in about 5 to 10 minutes, I'll let her tell y'all more about herself and her channel and whatever she wants to discuss. And I want to welcome those that will be watching on replay. And if you are watching on replay, leave a comment and let us know. Also, feel free to answer any questions that we ask in this live in the comments too. And let's see, we have Angela and Melissa here. Hi, how are y'all doing today? And what are y'all currently working on? And how is your day going today, Melissa?
Going wonderful. Beautiful day out. Enjoying my Saturday. My one daughter's at work, the other one's out having fun and with a friend, and my granddaughter's laying down, so I get to come on here with you guys now.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for some nice weather. I'm waiting for things to start cooling off. As you can probably tell by my background, I'm ready for pumpkins.
Yes, yes, yeah,
pumpkin spice pumpkin spice season has started.
yeah. It's definitely time for a little bit cooler weather, that's for sure.
Yeah, just waiting for that cool weather to start.
Yeah, I'm just glad to be out of the 90s.
Yeah. Now I did see something that says that my area is supposed to get some cooler weather coming. So I don't know how much of a cold spell that's going to be because we don't, like, usually we don't really get any cold weather until around Halloween.
Ah. Yeah, we kind of flip flop here in Virginia in September. You never know. It could be like a summer, it could be like a fall, but that's usually our transition. So we're on our way to beginning. Like I said, we're finally out of the 90s. We had um, several heat waves. It varies. Yeah. Thank you, Melissa. Yeah, I love doing that. I love hand dyeing yarn. That's my I love playing with yarn, but I really love making it prettier too.
Yeah, I had ordered your don't what do you call it? Don't be ugly yarn, the one named after Granny D.
Yeah, yeah. Be sweet, don't be ugly.
Whenever I first saw it, I'm like, Granny D always says that.
Uh huh.
And then I started reading more, and it's like, okay, it was inspired by Granny D.
Uh huh. Yeah, that was a really neat way how that turned out. I mean, I Sutta had made an order on my Etsy shop just for some yarn and stitch markers, and then I was like, the Lord actually told me one day to dye her some yarn because I already had her address. Of course, it was in the description box, anyways. And I'm like, okay, I'll find some purple dye and make some purple yarn for Sutta and send it off to her, and it just went on from there. We added Mimi, Cozy Fox, and C, Zelda NRJ3, and Ola Joe, Andrea, the Christian Sailor, and of course Granny D. And I'm actually getting ready to add a new one, Classy Kim.
Ooh, you make some beautiful yarn.
It's so much fun.
But
My thing was trying to get acrylic to dye. That was my biggest thing. I mean, there's a lot of yarn shops have the wool or the alpaca or you know the protein fibers. Not many people have cotton or acrylic, and acrylic is really hard to dye. So that was my main goal, and it started off just as a hobby. I mean, I just started trying different methods of dyeing acrylic yarn and ended up finding a way that actually works and
yeah,
find a way to make it better.
yeah, because my order was under my husband's name, Franklin Langley. That's me.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say I remember I had a Connie, but it wasn't you. It was another Connie. Okay,
Yeah, that's me.
I had no idea. Yeah, I don't know if you knew back July 19th, Crystal Bagger Day. she did an unboxing of an order she made with me, and then from there the orders just started piling in. So if there's anyone out there watching that's still waiting on their order, just hang in there, please. I'm working very hard.
Yeah, because whenever mine comes in, I'll be showing it on my channel.
Wonderful, thank you. I appreciate that.
But yeah, it's like once Crystal with Bag O' Day takes notice of somebody, you're gonna grow.
Yeah, very thankful for that. I mean,
The same thing with Daniel with Paw Fly Guys.
yeah, yeah.
It's like I think he's having trouble keeping up with his yarn orders now.
Right, right. And of course, having made to order dyes, having the set of the Z, the Mimi, all those colorways available. I mean, I have like a 2 to 3 week processing time right now. I had to bump it up a week, but having those available where people can place an order at any time, you technically never run out of stock that way. So it's like, if you're not doing made to order, then you're going to run out of stuff, and you're not going to sell anything until you restock. But that's handy to have that there.
Yeah, I think today is going to be a day that more people are going to watch my live on replay. Um, I know Jill with Fiber Floozy Crafts and Daniel with the Paw Fly Guys. They're doing their Bag O' Day challenge live. So I think a lot of people are over there today.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't even noticed who's live. Ugh, Little John is also live. Secret Yarn. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, I was on her live for a little while earlier,
Okay.
but
Okay.
I think it's supposed to be like a long live, and they're going to do like two ports to it, where the next time they go live, it's going to be on Daniel's channel.
Okay. I've watched. I know a little bit about. I think I watch a lot of stuff. She's my girl, but I know she was doing that same challenge, the same challenge that Fiber Floozy, Jill, with the Bag O' Day. Yeah, I know a little bit about that, but unfortunately, I don't get as much time to watch my favorite channel, all of my favorite people, all of my creators as much. I mean, I'll watch while I'm hanking yarn or something, but if
Hmm.
I've got gloves on and I'm knee deep, or not knee, I'm elbow deep in wet yarn, there's not really a whole lot I can do.
I know it's hard to
Yeah.
watch. That's just because I may not watch someone's channel as much as I would like to doesn't mean that I don't support them.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I try to do what I can, like I do my shout out videos and try to get people on to come live with me to get to help get the word out too about their channel. And let's see. I think Melissa's one of my own. I think Melissa's the only moderator here today. Could you drop Melissa's link for Crochet in Agreement, Melissa? Two Melissas. Let's see. Lisa's here. Hi, Lisa. How are you doing today? And what are you currently working on? And Melissa with Melissa's Crochet with Love is working on a tote bag with coffee in her cup. Yeah, I had my coffee right before I went live. Starbucks. I love me some Starbucks. Okay, and you're saying New York flip flops too. So does that mean you're wearing flip flops right now?
I
I'm
think
not
she's
sure.
weather. Yeah, she wrote that one. I said that Virginia's flip flops. September is the month of. It could go either way, summer or fall.
And let's see. Lisa's crocheting and throw blankets to take to the VA hospital.
Well, that's how I started off, was prayer blankets. That was my thing. Yeah, that is actually the whole thing behind Crochet in Agreement. It's actually based on Matthew chapter 18, verse 19 and 20. And that's the Lord actually told me to make this channel, and that's my main thing is prayer blankets for the sick. So I love hearing about making blankets for the VA. That's wonderful. God bless you for that.
And here's Melissa with Crochet In Agreement's channel link. So make sure y'all go check her out if y'all haven't already. And Inherited is here. Hi, Inherited. How are you doing today? And what are you currently working on? And okay, we're about 10 minutes in. So I'm going to go ahead and let Melissa tell y'all more about herself and her channel and all. So take it away.
Thank you very much. And thank you so much for having me here.
You're welcome.
It's an honor. Well, I guess I kind of already said a little bit. Probably back around 2015, I was led to start making crochet and prayer blankets for my pastor out in Indiana. They had actually started gathering blankets, and they needed, like donations and whatnot to buy more blankets. And I was like, well, I crochet. I hadn't actually really been doing it a lot, just every now and then. But once I started making these prayer blankets, that's just when it all started. That's when I hit the YouTube and learned all the fancy stitches and started making all kinds of cool blankets. It all started off with the prayer blankets, and that's how I got the name for Crochet In Agreement. The Lord actually gave me that name as well, based on, like I said, Matthew 18, verse 19 and 20, where two or more are gathered together in my name, there I am in the midst of them. So I am in agreement for healing with whoever receives a blanket. And in fact, I even pray that they can pass it on to someone else. And we've seen a lot of testimonies come out of this ministry. I started taking actually Granny Square donations. I have a lot of those that I put together into blankets. It actually helps them come along quicker. And I have information on my channel about donating Granny Squares if anyone would like to do that. But then in 2018, I think, or was it 19, the Lord told me to make a channel to show these blankets. So that's what I started off doing, and it kind of expanded from there. I started making chemo caps and crocheted crosses, and then I started last year just playing around, started working on dyeing yarn, and that was just, I was trying acrylic paint. I was trying, that was really weird, acrylic paint on acrylic yarn. But it kind of worked. And I just kept experimenting until I found out that basic dye will do that. So that's what I actually, people were starting to ask me, like, hey, I would love to have some of that yarn. Can you make some for me? So it's like, well, I'll just open up an Etsy shop and put some in there. That way to make it easier for everyone to buy. So here we are. A YouTube channel based on prayer blankets and yarn, cheap, different bases. I've got acrylic, cotton, and wool. I think that pretty much sums up my craftiness. Let's see. Well, I'm in Virginia. I'm in the northwest part of Virginia in the Shenandoah Valley. I'm married. I have a son who will be 18, and I have a middle daughter, 21, and my oldest is 24. She's autistic. I have a granddaughter that will be 3 in December. She's my pride and joy. What else? I don't know. That's a little bit about me. I've been crocheting since I was 10. That seems to be a popular age. Everybody's been like 10 or 12. Started off making like doll clothes, Cabbage Patch Kid clothes. And then, of course, when my own kids were born, I made each of them a blanket. And then when my granddaughter was born, I started making all kinds of stuff for her. I mostly do crochet. I just started knitting about 3 or 4 months ago. I'm getting there. I'm doing decent. Wanna get better. I want to get as good as you, Connie. I haven't been able to make any patterns yet. I tried one time. I'm not. Maybe one day. It's on my bucket list, but I also want to spin one day too. I want to learn how to do that. I'll do that. But yeah, that's me.
The funny thing is that like, because for the longest time I was like, I don't think I can create patterns, and everyone kept telling me, you can do it, you can do it. So I just kind of started jumping into it.
That's pretty much me. I was just determined. I think I seen another interview where you were saying you just jumped right in. You just grab the bull by the horns and just go for it. And that's pretty much what I did too. It was just like I was determined. I was determined that I don't care how many times I have to frog. I don't care how many times I have to cast on. I'm going to get this. And then one day it just snapped. It's like, wow, where did that come from? But like I said, I'm still working, on the tension's getting pretty good. But as far as the speed, no, I'm not ready for a blanket yet or anything, or a sweater, or even socks for that matter. But I got me a couple washcloths done.
I'm not the fastest crocheter. Like I see some content creators. I mean, they're always all these finished projects like every week, and I'm like, how do you do that? How are you that quick?
Right. Of course, it depends on what the project is. I think one of my, like at my first video I ever done, I'm like, I make prayer blankets. So I will not be uploading every week or even every other day, or it will be a while. Yeah.
But I mean, I've seen people finish like shawls and ponchos and even blankets like that, or sweaters, and I'm like, what's your trick?
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. Some people are blessed enough to be able to do that. That's wonderful. Um, I know I have a history of carpal tunnel, so I have to take breaks every now and then, shake things out a little.
But I did finish crocheting the crochet version of the alien beanie.
Oh, you did?
The only thing I find, it's a little longer because it was kind of hard to get the graphics small, so it's kind of more a little slouchy. But everyone that's seen the pictures of it so far, they like it. So
Nice. Are you going to write up a pattern?
and really, I shouldn't have to do too much for writing it up because the graph I already have made, and it's mostly going to be a graph pattern. And like the brim is the same. I did the brim the same way as I did on my Easter plaid beanie.
Okay.
So that's just basically just copying that.
Right. Well, that's nice. I did like a Grafghan type hat for my granddaughter when she was born. Her name is Alexandria, so it took me a while to do the color work in that. Of course, that was crochet. I can't. No way would I knit any color work. I've seen Melissa say she has a 4.5-year-old with autism. Yeah, my 24-year-old. She's just as sweet as can be. She's probably got the mentality of about an 8-year-old, and I wouldn't change a thing about that. She's just so sweet and innocent, so precious. They are just absolutely precious. She actually in April, she wants to do a autism awareness colorway. She wants to do it herself. She just keeps on, let me know when it's autism awareness month. I want to make yarn. She helps me hang.
I want to tell Karen hi. How are you today, Karen? And let's see. Inherited says she's going to try to finish off this shawl that is an old whip. Ooh, awesome. I love shawls. It's like I get excited anytime people mention the word shawl or they're making one. It's like, ooh, I gotta see.
Yeah, that's something else I make too with prayer shawls, and you can get those out fairly quickly, and people really love them. Something comforting. It's like a hug. It's a nice thing to have.
And Lisa saying we are former military, retired, broken now. Aw.
Oh,
But thank y'all for serving. So what branch were y'all in? I was in the Navy.
well, thank you as
Yeah.
well, Connie.
Thank you. And Karen's saying that she may need to mail you some squares that she does not enjoy sewing granny squares together.
Oh, it helps so much. I mean, if you were to take the time that it takes to make the squares and then the time that it takes to join them, uh, I usually when I do a granny square blanket with squares, it's already made. It's like 3 or 4 hours. I got a blanket versus a week. It's so much better. Yeah.
Yeah, see, I haven't actually done granny squares yet, but I think the peppermint blanket that which is one project I'm fixing to start working on this week. I think it's more like the like round, and I'm guessing that you connect them kind of like granny squares. I don't know. I got to look at the pattern more. I haven't started it yet.
They're kind of like hexagons, right? With the flat, like a stop sign.
I think these are more round
Oh, okay.
because it looks like little peppermints.
Yeah, I've seen those. That is so neat. I've
I've
never
been
done
want, I've been wanting to make that blanket.
that. Yeah. Well, that would be great for Christmas.
hmm I saw everyone making it last year, and I'm like, I'm making that blanket this year. Yeah, I'm gonna start that blanket, and then I'm gonna be starting on the blanket, which I plan to start on it this afternoon. I'm designing a pattern for a blanket,
Nice.
and this one is going to be challenging because I'm going to be using like at least 9 different stitches. So I
Oh.
gotta learn all these stitches.
Oh,
So
the stitch sampler blankets are always fun to do. I I did one time. I did one a prayer blanket out of scrap yarn, and each row, each yarn. It was some of them was several rows, but each yarn was a different stitch. It's really fun to do. Kind of breaks the monotony of blankets, the repetition.
and then like one thing that I thought about today that I hadn't thought about before is how when you do like the cast on, how you typically certain multiples for different stitches. So I noticed that there's a few stitches I probably won't be able to use that I was intending to because it's not the cast the cast on stitches won't work.
Right.
But the ones that don't work, I'll find another pretty stitch to substitute.
Oh yeah, there's so many out there.
But yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing this week, working on 2 different blankets. Well, my part of the week that I crochet because 3 days out of the week I work on crochet projects. One day my temperature blanket and 3 days knitting.
That's good. Yeah, I remember you saying that, and a lot of people do that, or they might have a certain time of the day where they will stop what they're doing and be like, "This is my knitting slash crocheting or whatever it is they choose to do time," and that's good to be organized like that. Me
And
personally,
then
I haven't picked up a hook or a needle in a while. I'm desperately missing it. Oh, there's David. Hello.
hi David, how are you doing today? And what are you currently working on? Oh, and Mama G's here too. How are you?
Hi.
And let us know what you're working on. But oh, what was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. Oh well, hopefully it comes back to me. Let's see. Inheritance says she was 37 when she learned to crochet. I was 45.
Well, I mean, technically, if you put it down like I did, I mean, like I said, I done a little bit when I was a kid, And then when I had kids, I done it some more. But I went on probably a 15, 20-year hiatus from the time I was a kid till the time I was a mom. So it was technically like learning again. Actually, this was funny. I think I said this in my very first video. The only stitch I knew when I was a kid was double crochet in the back loop. Everything I made was ribbed. I thought that was the way to do it, and there was no other way.
I remembered what I wanted to say. When it comes to knitting, how I was working on that cable and lace shawl, and I ran out of yarn. I'm still waiting for the yarn to come in. It's been delayed with the storm, and like I keep checking the tracking, and it seems like it's still in the same place.
Wow.
So I don't know how long it's gonna take me to get that yarn so I can finish it.
Wow, man.
But I started another knitted shawl, so
Yeah, there's always other projects.
but speaking of knitting, I forgot to do my Knitting Friday video yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah, I
That's
may try to
something
do
too.
it today.
I need to do that. Set up a video schedule. I don't. Time goes by for me. It's like, oh my goodness, has it been a month? And that's really bad. I need to get on the ball and get some kind of a schedule. I did have this channel binge challenge that I made up, and I was pretty good about that for a couple weeks. Every Sunday, I would talk about a channel that I binged on the previous week, and then I would do a random name picker thing, and whoever come up, I would binge on their channel for the whole week, and then come back the next Sunday, and that was pretty fun. I need to get back to that. That was nice, and it's good to help support the creators as well.
Let's see. Hi, Laura Lee and Tracy. How are y'all doing today? And what are y'all currently working on? But yeah, it's like I try to do my crochet videos on Tuesday and my knitting on Friday, but I am sometimes a day late.
We're all forgiving. We understand. Everyone always understands.
But every now and then I have been a day early. There have been times where I filmed it like the day before, and once I have it filmed, I just put it to uploading.
Right.
But I don't have a lot that I'm really gonna, at least I don't think that I'll be discussing in my knitting video. Where I've actually thought about just holding off till next week too.
Yeah, that's another thing too. I think a lot of us content creators are like, well, I don't really have anything to show. I didn't really do anything, so why bother doing a video? And then if you get into that frame of mind too many times, you'll actually end up not doing a video. I've done that so many times. It's like, I don't have anything to show. And then I've told myself, it doesn't matter. Just talk about your week or something. There's always something I've either bought or thought about buying. Talk about that. Yeah, sometimes we feel like we're obligated and nobody expects it. If you're too far, if you wait too long, they might worry, but generally everyone's understanding.
And the funny thing is, like, my shawl hasn't gotten into the different stitches yet. It's just basically it's just a little bigger than it was last week. Because I was hoping that I would have gotten into the pretty stitching, but
well, even that a little bit of progress is progress. And especially with shawls, most of them, like if you're starting in the middle, once you start getting farther out, you're going to make it's not going to look like as much progress because you're doing more. So it's like,
I know it goes lengthwise, and then you can't even show it as good when it's on the needles because you can't spread it all out. Like,
it's all bunched up. It's like, well, this is kind of what I've got a blanket like that. I'm knitting my pastor a blanket on, I think it's 36, 37 inch circulars, and it's a 6 foot wide blanket. So it's bunched up like a curtain on there. You can't, unless you look at the bottom part of it where it's, you can't see it actually on the needles. It's all bunched up.
I'm just now seeing that Verna's here. Hi, Verna. How are you doing today? Ooh, and she's going to have homemade empanadas. That sounds good.
Mexican is my favorite. I love Mexican food too.
Yeah, Mexican's good. And Stephanie's here too. Hi, Stephanie. How are you doing today? Let's see. Oh, Mama G says she just finished another video. Awesome.
Hello, Julie. Julia. Sorry, Julie. Yeah, Julie. Of course. Subscribe to you.
Hi, Julie. Oh, me and Frank were plotting for you, Julie. If we can find a certain prop, we have plans, especially for you, Julie. She fans, she's my husband's number one fan.
Oh.
Let's see. Melissa saying that she agrees she wouldn't change anything about her baby girl at all. She will be 5 in December and still doesn't talk. Aww. And Melissa also loves making shawls. And Lisa says, I have a 27-year-old son that has Asperger's syndrome, ADHD, and all the letters. My spouse was in the Army.
Yeah, my daughter is also Asperger's and ADHD as well.
I just have cats, so they just meow and do things they shouldn't do.
I'm surprised. I have a stray. Well, I don't know. I think she adopted us. She hangs out. We feed her. We don't let her in, but I'm surprised she hasn't been hollering because she's a very vocal cat. Sitting over there.
Well, we had a bunch of stray cats that would hang out in our yard, but they've started drifting away more. But you still see them sometimes. And Inherited says she's a granny square churning out freak.
Send them my way if you want to donate. I just got some. I guess about 2 months ago from Terry, Yarn Joy Podcast.
And David says he alternates between crochet time and nap time. Yes, sometimes I have to fit my naps in, and sometimes I have to fit in my Sophie time, because sometimes she claims me where she will not let me crochet or knit. She's something else.
I wish for lab cats. They're not.
Yeah.
My grandmother, however, she'll tell me, "No yarn, Grandma."
Yeah, Sophie tends to be more of a lab cat. Allie's not. But she does have little spells where she will come on you. But normally, like when she does come around, it's on the arm of the chair.
Just close enough to be rubbed, but not so close to be in the way.
And Lisa says, I have 11 throw blankets stored at one is almost done. Ooh, awesome.
Any size at all, Karen. I've received little tiny ones, and I've gotten like 12-inch ones. Any size at all. I patch them all together. And
David says, I put aside 2 new shawls for a cardigan idea that has me excited. I'm getting tongue-tied. I hope I'll have pics in a few days. Ooh, awesome, David. And I guess Mama G saying she was 59-ish when she learned to crochet.
Never too late.
It's not. And my first attempt, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, I couldn't get crochet when I first tried to learn. Then I moved on to loom knitting, then knitting, and then finally I decided to try crochet again. And I found the lessons I did made the difference because I did Selena Bacchus, and she's really, really, really thorough.
Yes, I agree.
And and once I tried hers, it was like boom, I got it.
Yeah,
But
I find that interesting. I have a friend that told me the same thing, that she can knit, or she's actually told me she can't crochet at all. And for me personally, crochet was my first, and then when I picked up knitting, I thought that was the most confusing, fiddly thing I had ever dealt with, and I couldn't grasp the concept of I can't crochet. I was like, what do you mean you can't? And it's probably the other way around for people that learn to knit.
because
Do not knit; it's easy.
because I used to think that I would never learn how to crochet. Like I thought I had to have someone right by me showing me. And because I mean I would try different tutorials and I just didn't understand what they were doing. Especially like the turning and stuff.
Wow.
And then I had gotten the Craftsy promotional subscription thing, and I checked out that Selena Bacchus lessons on there, and I mean, you will know how to count your stitches with her. You'll know what the stitches look like. You'll know how many chains you got to do, how many you skip. I mean, she makes sure you know.
Yeah, well, Marley Bird was my tutor for. That's how I learned my knitting. The series that she did with her mom was. I tried a lot of different tutorials, but she was the only one that where I actually got it.
See, expression fibers is how I learned how to, do the basic knitting, casting on, casting off, knit stitch, purl stitch. But when it came to like learning after that, it was Morley Bird
Oh, okay.
because I started doing her shawl patterns, and I would take the video, get that written pattern, and do work on it. And that's how I learned how to read patterns, and I learned how to do more with knitting because I my third project was a shawl, and it wasn't just garter stitch. It was the one. It's on the wrappers of some of the Red Heart Super Saver yarn. It's that light blue ombre shawl.
Wow, and that was your first knit pattern, knit project.
My third.
Oh, your
My
third.
my
Wow.
first was a little headband. Then I did a scarf. Then I did the shawl.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah, my first one. I made a hat for my granddaughter. Of course, it was a small hat, but once again, I just jumped right in. I'm like, okay, I got circulars. I'm gonna do a hat. I'm gonna do a little baby hat. So
and
turned
normally if I don't know how to do something, I just look it up.
out. Yeah.
If I come across a stitch I haven't done, that's what YouTube's for.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. I wouldn't know 99% of this what I know without you two. I'd still be double crocheting in the back lip.
And Lisa says my grandma taught me to crochet when I was about 5 or 6 and to knit too, but I didn't stick with the knitting. And I really wish now that I would have learned how to crochet or knit at a young age.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I might see if I can get my granddaughter into it early. She's not quite 3, but give her another year or two.
Morley says she's working on the Simpson Turnpike shawl. Ooh. Yeah, Gina with Knitting Turnpike, she always does like the knit alongs. One day I'll finally do one day.
I haven't done any yet. Any crochet along, make along, knit along. I keep finding a couple that I'm interested in, but I'm like, I just don't. Bucket list, I will. I'll get into one day.
And David said I started doing Friday lives because I didn't have content ready to upload. I now have 3 regular lives per week. I love it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to hop over to there one day. I know Granny D always says, "Let's go over to David's." And usually about this time I'm eating dinner, so it's kind of like I might be a little late, but I'll make it over there one day, David.
Let's see. Verna says she had to go. I hope you have a good day, Verna. Granted, she's probably been going for a while now.
I remember seeing that one. Loom knit. I'm working on. I have the hand crank. I forgot the brand. You guys know what I'm talking about, the pink and white one. But as far as the regular loom with the little hook thing, I don't know. I can do it. It just seems like it takes me forever. So I actually have 2 projects on a loom right now. Just they're like UFOs now, I guess. They're not even whips anymore.
Melissa says feels like the lives are probably easier versus recording videos. I find it depends because like the videos, I find like I have more of a subject matter specifically that I'm talking about. Where sometimes when you're live, you're like, okay, what do I say next?
That would be my guess as well. I haven't done any lives yet, but as far as regular videos, I usually have like show notes, things that I know I want to talk about. But of course, you have the chat you can interact with, and I don't know about you guys, but whenever I watch a restream, like a replay of a live, I kind of like. I don't know. It's like it seems to me like it's better if it's not constantly like hi so and so, hi so and so, hello so oh there's so and so, blah 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 blah, hello, and everybody's saying hello, and it's kind of like I don't know, just talk about something instead of hello hello hello.
I know Jane from Scrubtastics Yarn says the same thing.
Yeah, I mean if you're there during the live, that's cool. I mean, yeah, saying hello and everything, but it's kind of like on a replay. It's like, well.
But then it's like I don't want to leave anyone out, so I always try to tell everyone hi.
Right. Yeah.
And I think, and then too, I know too. I think a lot of people like it whenever they're on a live and they hear them being told hi. Because I know I did. Like the first time someone mentioned me, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
But actually, it was kind of funny because I wasn't even like there for the live, and this was before I had my channel, and like this was just from my post in her Facebook group for like Barbara with crochet therapy. She was mentioning me and my husband because like he would model my stuff, and most people like him as my model. I know Julie does.
I can't get mine. He for my Etsy shop, he did let me take a picture of him with the neck pillow, but other than that, he won't. No, nothing else. My daughters have, like my daughter's done the gloves for me, but most of it is just I lay it out, take a picture of it.
Hi, Amanda. How are you today? And Julie says, "Oh no, that plot thickens. Laughing out loud, yes, I am number one fan of the biscuit. And really, I hope we can find what we really want to find at Dollar Tree. If not, we'll get something just kind of just to give you a good laugh. Ooh, Mama G's almost at 100 subscribers. Ooh, congrats! So yeah, if y'all haven't checked out Mama G, go throw some yarn in her window.
Not sure I know her.
And Melissa, can you go ahead and drop Mama G's link? Oh, Karen wants to know if you're requesting certain sizes or colors of the granny squares, Melissa.
Right. No, any size at all, any color, any pattern. It doesn't even have to be a granny square, just any kind of square, any size. I've gotten small ones, I've gotten like foot square. I mean, I patch them together, and I think that's what makes them so unique is some of them are different yarn weights, even different yarn weights, different colors. I mean, I don't want anything, and I want something that's washable, preferably acrylic or polyester. I mean, that's probably the only really preference I have. I don't want to send, some superwash merino wool, to somebody. Make it easy for them to wash. I mean, that's easy, but yeah, just any size. No certain size, no certain color, and it don't even have to be granny stitch, granny, anything at all. Even if one or 100, I don't care. Everything matters, and in fact, as I put these squares in there, I see it as each individual square represents that person is also standing in agreement with myself and whoever, like my pastor prays over the blanket and anoints them. That person is also standing in agreement for healing for the person that receives that blanket. So that's what makes them so special, the donated squares, because there's lots of people in agreement for healing.
Yeah, and that's so awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see. Chris and Mel are here. How are y'all doing today? And what is everyone working on that hasn't told us yet? And let's see. Laura Lee says it's funny how we all learn in different ways. I do better with written patterns than tutorials. And really, I prefer overall having a written pattern because with a written pattern, you can just have it in front of you. With a video, you got to keep like putting it back on, pausing, putting back on.
Hi, Miguel.
Oh, Miguel's here too?
Yeah.
Oh, and Gina's here. How are y'all doing today? Oh, I'm like getting really behind on everything. Oh, and Franca is here too. I hope I'm saying your name right. How are you doing? Let's skim real quick.
I love that, putting a crochet border on a knitted washcloth. Priscilla at Distinctive Crochet was the one first time I'd ever heard of. She had a knitted brim for a hat, and then she switched over to crochet. I thought that was the most brilliant idea ever. I had never heard of such thing. Like I said, I'm new to knitting, but I was just like, oh my gosh, that is just phenomenal. So I done the brim, I started binding off, and then I just took the loop and picked up with it with the crochet hook. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing since sliced bread. Because like I said, it takes me forever to knit. So once I get the brim done, it's like, oh gosh, I still got to make the rest of the hat.
I'm trying to skim the comments real quick to try to catch up on everything. Seeing if anyone has any questions or something that needs to be mentioned.
Oh, Juniper.
I'm trying to remember your name. That yarny zebra and stuff. I can't think of your first name. But hello, how are you doing?
It just pop right out, and then there's others that's like, oh.
I know. But how are you doing today? And let me know what your first name is in the chat. Oh, Tracy said David just told me he's taking me to lunch. Gotta go. Y'all have fun. And I'm thinking when she said David, I'm thinking David Browning. I hope you have a good day, Tracy, and enjoy your lunch. Let's see. Trying to skim real quick.
Oh, good. She found the Miguel's link. His is
Okay.
hard to find.
Okay, so it is pronounced Franca. Okay, good.
It's a pretty name.
It's different. I've never heard that name before. And she says only people in the UK can't say my name and I don't get it. Okay, it's Dora Beth. Okay. Okay. And hopefully I'll remember it. But it is funny, like certain names you retain easier than other names.
I had a time when I actually was starting to jot down the names. It got monotonous. Eventually, I just memorized it. Like you said, some of them come to you, but I actually have a notebook inside where I used to actually jot down the YouTuber name. Only the ones that don't have their name in their, ID. Actually jotted them down.
I really need to do that. But in the same aspect, like I probably would have names on different sheets of paper in my notebook.
Right.
And then they wouldn't be all together.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, Miguel. He got a new phone, so he may be able to go live with me. Yay. Yeah, I have some that I'm waiting to hear from to see if they're going to be able to, or they showed like, or they sounded like they probably would be.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's such a nice idea, nice thing to do. I've never, like I said, I've never actually went live with anyone. I know a lot of people do the StreamYard thing and they put their link and you can come in, but
I like more one-on-one with other content creators. Now, sometimes whenever I am by myself, I do put the link in the chat and tell whoever wants to come up, they can come up. Like if somebody, like every now and then someone cancels, like last minute, or I forgot to get someone for a live on a video and I notice it too last minute.
Oh. If I do this, I'm looking over my glasses because the sun comes out and they get dark and I can't see the chat.
And Lisa wants to know if the latest hurricane gave us bad weather. We were fortunate. That storm was supposed to hit us more, but it shifted just enough east where we didn't get any bad weather from it. But unfortunately, it hit certain areas really bad. Like the city that I'm originally from, they got hit really hard. And you were saying before we did the live that didn't y'all get some bad weather from the storm?
We got some rain. We were supposed to have actually gotten like tropical storm weather they were calling for, but most of it shifted to my east and hit DC and Maryland. Some areas in Maryland got like severe flooding. They actually had several deaths, like I don't know, 11 or so people that actually got trapped in their basements. It's terrible. But we were supposed to have gotten the brunt of it, but fortunately, we didn't get as much as they called for either.
Yeah, like in Laplace, there were people in their attics waiting to get rescued. And then the irony is, now we did get some heavy rain, I think the day before yesterday, but it only lasted like maybe an hour, and then it stopped. But it was raining hard. But that was after like the hurricane was like 4 away from us. And I thought it was funny. Yeah, we having harder rains and heavier wind than when we had the storm. But
It's crazy.
yeah, South Louisiana, they got hit hard. Miguel's like, what if I run everyone off? No, Miguel, you're not gonna run everyone off.
When is he going to be on?
We haven't planned that out yet.
I'll keep an eye out.
So I had messaged him and he was kind of like, said he would get back with me. And now I'm just waiting to hear when he's ready. But some of the dates I had available might not still be available. So just send me an email, Miguel. And Franca says, thank you. My name is Italian from a part of Italy. My parents are from, so I do like my name too.
Yeah. It's nice.
I always love like when you hear a different name, like names that weren't common.
That's what I did with two of my children. Gave them names that I had never heard of. But then all of a sudden their names start popping up everywhere. It's like, oh, I got a great uncle by that name. Or you go to the pharmacy and it's like, we've already got somebody by that name, but what's the last name? Or something. It's like all of a sudden their names pop up. You think it's unique, but
or you hear a new name and it's unique, but then other people hear that name and then everyone starts calling their children that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I remember like the first time hearing Michaela, it was like, oh, that's so unique. And the next thing you know, everyone was calling their babies Michaela.
Uh-huh.
Chelsea's another one. Miguel still needs to learn how to use his phone. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out my smartphone too. It's like we've only had our first smartphone for about 2 months now, but I don't use it for my videos. I use a vlogging camera on my videos, and then on my lives I use a web camera. And Lisa says my brand new grandson is named, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce it right, Bajon. How do you say it, Lisa? Okay, so I guess we'll go ahead and ask our first question for today's live.
Yeah, how far in? An hour.
I've been saying that, like lately on my lives, we ask maybe one or two questions. Bjorny. Hopefully, I'm saying it right now. Bjorny.
Bjorn.
She has B/your and then N.
Maybe it's Bjorn.
But that is different. That's a neat name. Oh, and Miguel's almost at 300 subscribers. Woohoo!
Oh, very good. I remember when we just talked you into making a channel.
And if y'all haven't checked Miguel out, go throw some yarn in his window. Help him get to 300 subscribers.
Also, I don't know if I uploaded a video today for an 800 subscriber giveaway. So y'all go over and watch that video on my channel.
Yeah, go check that out. And Lisa says, be your, it's Viking.
That's cool. Your.
Okay. So you want to go ahead and ask the first question?
Okay, yeah. Well, you had mentioned something about example question of animals. I know you talk about you're in Louisiana, and I'm constantly seeing videos of wandering crocodiles. Or wait a minute, is it crocodiles or alligators? Alligators, right? Did you ever see wandering alligators?
Really, no.
Okay, that's good.
Um, like the one place that one time we went to Avery Island, which is in, I think, New Iberia, and they have like, it's real beautiful out there, and they have like the little like water area where you have the alligators,
Wow.
and well, one time we went there and someone was feeding cheese to the alligators, and the little baby alligators came out. It was so cute, and I got some awesome pictures of the alligators. But like at the time, I really wasn't thinking, because it is like, what if one of the bigger alligators would have come out and come after everyone?
Right. Oh my goodness. Was there a barrier?
Huh?
Was there any barrier that would keep them from getting close?
No.
No.
And like I said, normally like they would stay like in the water, but and you really weren't supposed to do what these people were doing.
That's
And then and then speaking of like alligators, so there's a place in Jennings where they have this park, and they got little baby alligator that you can hold the alligator. Me and Frank went one time and we were holding it,
oh.
and I got brave enough that I did it, and everyone's like, "You're crazy." What, yeah, but I'm like, but the lady was like, they don't bite when they're little like that.
Oh. So how big are they? Like fit in your hand?
Yeah, um, I guess probably maybe that long, maybe.
Oh. Wow, that's a decent size though. Oh.
Which, and one of my intro, and like I had used a picture of Frank holding the gator. I've used that in my intro in a few videos, but I don't remember which ones. But I have posted it before.
Oh. I have to go watch a couple of them, see if I can find it. That's neat. Holding an alligator.
So, has anyone else had any experiences with alligators? Have you had any experiences, Melissa?
Oh no, no. I think I've been down south maybe half a dozen times my whole life, and that was usually either a road trip or the beach. I mean, not that's not counting the zoos, the ones where they're behind the glass and I just observe.
And David says, I'm just short of 1,800. If I reach 1,800 by Monday, my Labor Day marathon might be much more special. Ooh. So, yeah, y'all go help David out too. Go through some yarn in his window. Yeah, I'm probably going to make a little video on Monday wishing everyone a happy Labor Day. Let's see. Amanda says, I like to get some ground alligator meat and make meatloaf with it. I bet that would be good. Yeah, that sounds good.
Can't say I've ever eaten alligator.
It basically tastes like chicken.
Tastes like chicken. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. The next question I have, what is your favorite type of soup? I would go with chicken noodle soup. Um, one that and I had mentioned this soup before in a video and I couldn't think of what it was called. But I've made this now my mind's gonna go blank on me. Oh, what do you call it? It has the dumplings in it. Chicken pot pie soup, that's it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
My mind wanted to go blank on me again.
Oh, that's a good one there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with you too on the chicken noodle. That's like my go-to. Um, but some good homemade vegetable soup. You know, not the Campbell stuff, but where you get all the fresh vegetables yourself, mix everything
Hmm.
up. That's a good one too. Not really all day like this, but here in a couple months maybe.
The funny thing is, I will not touch vegetable soup.
Really? Not even with a little bit of meat in it?
Mm-mm.
No?
I'm I'm funny about like especially vegetables. Like they got to be cooked certain ways, and I eat I eat way more vegetables than what I used to, but I don't know like I can't do vegetable soup, and I know most people love it.
There was a time my middle daughter, went all health nut, and she actually talked us all into going vegan for about a year and a half. Vegan, no dairy, no cheese, no meat at all. And I learned to appreciate vegetables quite a bit, even ones I didn't usually like too well. And spices. Spices were my best friend.
But one thing I love doing, like like for things like after Thanksgiving and after Christmas, I like taking turkey and the broth from the turkey, and I'll make a turkey noodle soup.
Oh, that's a good idea. I often I'll take the green beans, the stuffing, and make casseroles, or maybe even add the turkey in. That's my leftover thing, a casserole.
And like like with my turkey, I like stuffing it with apples, lemons, and oranges. And if I have satsumas, I use satsumas instead of oranges.
Oh wow, never put fruit. I've heard of it, but I've never done it myself. That's interesting. Sounds yummy.
And let's see. Amanda says chicken and dumplings is always a hit around here. And Laura Lee says chicken noodle with homemade noodles over mashed potatoes and something navy bean and ham. I guess with, I'm not sure.
Or it could be or.
And Wendy's here. Hi, Wendy. How are you today? And she's saying there was an alligator farm in Hot Springs, Arkansas that let you buy baby alligators until folks started flushing them down the toilets. This was back in the 70s. Oh, but now that you're talking about people having alligators as pets, that reminds me. Growing up, my dad caught an alligator, and he gave it to one of our neighbors on the next block, and they kept the alligator as a pet. They had it like fenced in their backyard, but like now you couldn't do this.
Yeah, I don't think that should be allowed. Those things can get loose.
And the funny thing is, at the time, I'm a kid, you don't think anything of it, but as an adult, you're like, yeah, that really was dangerous. Laura Lee says, I grew up on stews. And she said, try turkey and rice soup, yummy. My kids tell me I make the best soups. Now, as a kid, I would eat like the Campbell's um, chicken and rice soup, but I haven't I never tried making a chicken and rice soup.
I haven't.
Bye, Inherited. I hope you have a good day. And Amanda says that would explain how one got into the septic pond on the trailer park we lived in as kids.
Wow. That's what I'm talking about there. One getting out in the loose. You see it. I see it on the news all the time, and I just wonder how you guys is it like, oh, there's another alligator on the loose. I mean, me, I would be climbing on my roof probably.
You hear it more in Florida, though. And I remember that was one thing whenever I was in the Navy and I was stationed in Orlando. They would warn us that if you had a gator coming after you, to run zigzag
Oh,
because it
wow.
slows them down because they'll try to keep turning with you and they can't keep up.
I think
So
I've heard
yeah,
the same thing about a bear.
if y'all ever experience a gator, run zigzag.
Hopefully, no one does experience that.
Let's see. Laura Lee has to go. Bye, Laura Lee. I hope you have a good day. But yeah. So you want to go ahead and ask the next question, Melissa?
Okay. Let me think of something here. What other hobbies do you have besides yarn-related stuff, crocheting and knitting? Knitting and crochet. I'll say the other way around. What else you like to do?
Go ahead and let me answer your
Okay.
answer for you, and then I'll answer.
Okay. Um, well, I like to play piano. I don't play it as much as I used to, but I love bang on that every now and then. I got lessons when I was a kid. Got like 8 years of lessons. A little rusty on it now, but I still like to play, some of the easier stuff. Um, oh, oh gosh, it's all about the crafts for me. Um, I like tech stuff. I love, like taking things apart, fixing them, troubleshooting them. I've always liked electronics. Took my first VCR apart when I was 8. It ate the tape. I took it apart. I disassembled it. Put it back. Put the tape back together. Put it back together, and it worked. Um, yeah, yeah. I guess I'm kind of mostly a fiber enthusiast, above all. How about you, Connie? You got anything else you do?
Um, I I cross stitch, but a lot of my other like crafts, ever since I started with the knitting and crocheting, I really haven't done. But I like cross stitching, diamond painting, making wreaths. Let's see, and I did loom knit. That's how I first got into yarn crafts. And I like to cook. I like playing around with different recipes and baking. Oh, I love Lifetime movies. That's a hobby. And true crime stuff. I like watching true crime. Um, Spending time with my cats. Uh, that's all I can think of offhand. I mean, I'm sure there's more stuff, but
I'm thinking, yeah, once we're done, I'll think of, well, why didn't I say blah, blah, blah? But yeah, right now I'm drawing a blank.
I do that all the time. Or like I mean to say something in one of my videos, and like a lot of times, like I tend to have notes on the basic things I'm talking about, and then I forget something, and like when I go to edit or after the video's uploaded, I'm like, oh, I meant to mention this. Oh well, too late now.
Yeah, I went back in the description box and put edit or update or PS or something. Like, I forgot to say this.
And sometimes like I'll just wait till my next video
Right.
But yeah, sometimes I forget.
Yeah.
And Amanda says she paints with acrylic paint. And Mel says playing pool, fishing, basketball, cooking, reading. And Wendy says I'm living in Georgia and I have really enjoyed needle and wet felting, crocheting, sewing, alcohol ink art. Ooh, nice.
I want to learn felting. There was a challenge thing going around, hashtag how I felt, and some of the items that was coming out of this was so cool looking. I think even Bagger Day did a hat. I can't remember what she did now, but yeah, I would love to learn how to felt. It looks so cool. I haven't done it. Just gonna have to do it, right? Just make something and felt it.
Yeah, it's always fun learning new things.
Oh yeah.
But like I said, once I started knitting and crocheting, it's like that's my go-to craft now.
I love little Wendy's picture for her avatar picture.
And Mel's saying that Crystal did a soap felt.
Okay.
Yeah, I love seeing Bangladesh's cats
Oh yeah, I like her life channel. I'm glad she decided to do that.
and her rabbit. That rabbit is gorgeous.
Yes, yes it is. Um, oh, do you ever go to yarn festivals? Do you have any
No,
that pop up?
no, and like there's really not anything like close to me that I know of at least.
I have one very close in Berryville that comes up. Gosh, here in about another near the end of the month. Gosh, yay! I can't wait. It was virtual last year. Now they're having it real this year. Thank goodness. I
Since
actually might meet a viewer. She says she's going to be coming from West Virginia, so hanging out with
awesome.
her.
Since there's been so much talk about hurricanes lately, my next question is going to be about hurricanes.
Okay.
Okay. Have you ever been through a hurricane? If so, which hurricane? And I've been through
You'll
quite
go
a few, and I probably can't even mention all the ones that I've been through.
first.
But the ones that stand out is Hurricane Andrew. Um, then there was like Hurricane Katrina. Then there was Rita, but Rita really didn't hit us, but we got storm surge. Like there wasn't a drop of rain, but like people, people's houses flood. A lot of people's houses flooded,
Right.
and it
Yeah.
was weird seeing that no rain.
Just
Um,
yeah, that can do more damage than the rain itself can, as far as flooding,
and
storm surge. Yeah.
there was Gustav, or however you say it. Then there were two last year, which I don't even remember their names because there were just so many storms last year that they got on the Greek alphabet system.
Yes, I remember
Um,
that.
and I know there's others that I'm forgetting about, but you tend to remember like the bigger storms more. So how about you, Melissa?
Yes, yes, yes. I only have one to really talk about. Oh my goodness, Lord have mercy. It was it was September 1996. Hurricane Fran. Um, Pretty much kind of done like Ida did, except it didn't fizzle out and it didn't. I mean, it had the same track, and Hurricane Fran came right up right over top of us. And I'm in a valley. I'm in between the Appalachian and the Blue Ridge. We don't get much bad weather here. We got the mountains to protect us. There's so many storms that come and they'll break up right over top of our valley, then they'll gather back up and nail DC and all that. But Hurricane Fran came right on up the valley and it absolutely done us in. We had so much damage and flooding. I mean, there was cows going down what used to be a stream. The streams were looking like the Shenandoah River. The Shenandoah River looked like an ocean. It was crazy. And there was rescues. I mean, we don't never get stuff like that. Our entire downtown, the very center of town, there was buildings washing away and the bridge was completely underwater. I actually crossed that bridge earlier in the storm. They had it boarded up because the water was right there and it was starting to come across. I actually went across that bridge, and right after I went across it, the boards busted loose behind me. It's like, oh my gosh, just in time. It was insane. 1996, September, Hurricane Fran. Ah, what a mess. Oh, yeah. Other than that, we normally just get like tropical depressions. Yeah. It usually fizzles out by the time. We don't have a whole lot come inland. I mean, if they come to like Virginia Beach area, whatever, they usually kind of miss us. But yeah, we're fortunate not to have a whole lot. But 1996 was not a good year for us.
It was bad when they go up along the East Coast. The East Coast don't have all the protections in place like we do along the Gulf. Because it's like we know we're lucky when we have a year no hurricanes. It's like we're expecting them.
Right. You guys have fortified roofs and houses on stilts and stuff like that. You don't see a whole lot of that on the East Coast, or at least not this far north.
Well, yeah, the houses like that, that's more like really South Louisiana, where
That's
where the really coastal areas.
I've seen even a lot of those were wiped out. I've seen that, yeah.
But then too, all it really took was something to knock what holds it up, the lumber that holds them up.
Yeah.
You knock one of those beams down, and it's like it's gonna come falling.
Yeah.
Let's see. Mel saying, "Who wouldn't love the Bods? They are amazing family. Crystal is her inspiration." Yeah, Crystal is so talented. And then, okay, she designs gorgeous patterns, but I mean, she makes them so quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's another quick crocheter. Yes.
I'm like, how do you go so fast?
For me, it depends on what I'm doing. Like if I'm doing like a corner to corner, I can zip through those really quickly. But that's because you're mostly just crocheting into a chain. It's not you're not going into a whole lot of stitches. You're just chains, and you don't even have to look at that. But now something else might take me twice as long or 3 times as long.
And that's the funny thing, like, because with crochet, I gotta look at my stuff more than knitting.
Wow.
Well, now if I'm doing more fancier stitch work with knitting, then yeah, I do have to. But like, especially when you're just doing knit stitches, like you don't hardly have to look at it.
I hope to be there one day. Yeah.
But yeah, so we're almost at the hour and a half mark, so we're gonna start wrapping things up. Is there anything you would like to say before we say our goodbyes?
Well, head over to my channel, watch my video for the 800 subscriber. I've got some goodies to give away, and thanks for everyone that has subscribed to me. Go check out my Etsy shop. I'll be adding some more stock probably today. If not, then definitely tomorrow. Other than that, just hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Wonderful, safe, blessed weekend.
And I want to thank you, Melissa, for coming live with me.
You're very welcome, and thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And I want to thank everyone for watching today and those that will be watching on replay. And let's see. My Knitting Friday video, I don't know if I'm definitely going to get to filming it today, but I'll try to do it. I'll probably do it tomorrow. It'll be Knitting Sunday. That was supposed to be on Friday.
Knitting Friday on a Sunday.
And let's see. I'm trying to think of anything else. Monday I will be going live at 11:30. Let me see who my guest star is. Let me find my calendar. Monday will be Kaylina with My Own Utopia.
Sweet.
So I hope y'all catch that live. And I think that's all I have for everyone. Like I said earlier, I'll probably think of things afterwards.
Yes.
I hope everyone is having a fabulous Yorny day. Be the light and bye.
Bye-bye.